What up? What up? What up? Long time no see or talk to people. What's up? What's good? It is I, Chauncey Craig Woodson, back at you with Chauncey Vision. This is a place where I talk about all the TV, movie, film-ish, and I know it's been a good long while, but I'm back off hiatus. Just want to say what's up for those who have listened and rock with me. Much love, miss y'all. Uh, hey, where do I begin? Basically, I just took a hiatus off just to, balance work and life and such, and also to balance some of my other creative ish that I've been doing. For those of you all who truly know me and rock with me, I'm not only just a film and television enthusiast, I'm a music lover. I also rock with things like photography, short story writing, poetry, etc., that type of thing. So basically, in regards to my hiatus, I've basically just been, strengthening up my other creative sides of me. Mainly on the photography side, which I truly love more than anything. Well, almost more than anything, I should say. But I want to give a definite quick shout out to a gentleman by the name of Michael Sanjata Johnson. Um, I personally refer to him as Brother Sanjata because, he's been not only just a good friend, but also just a great, teacher. I refer to him as my photographic Obi-Wan. Basically just helping me hone in my in studio photography skills because if I'm gonna do this thing with photography, I want to go, the whole mile. Basically, not just doing the natural light stuff, not just doing the lo-fi photography or lomography stuff, which I enjoy. I also want to get into that aspect of in studio photography because I truly would like to work with men and women who I wish to photograph in the near future and create some beautiful art through them. And, I think without them, photography, you can only take so many pictures of just buildings and landscapes and such like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm definitely not denouncing that. It's just, I feel you can get greater art through, you know, men and women and just create just beautiful things. So definitely, one more time, just a shout out to Brother Sanjada. I thank you and I appreciate you for the few months you've rocked with me and others in regards to your photography workshops, helping just create wonderful images that we can not only be proud of, but that can eventually get us the attention granted to carry on doing this much more often. So I can't thank you enough. I can also give a shout out to a wonderful lady by the name of Kiara LeBlanc, who has been like the workshop muse these past few months. She's been, great with her energy, great with her just modeling expertise. So, and it's always a joy to work with her because she keeps everything energetic, everything, everybody laughing, and it's always just good vibes. And that's the beautiful thing. You always want to work with people who got just great energy and good vibes. You don't want to be dealing with uppity individuals where it's like, if you can't have fun doing what you love doing, and especially you can't work with anybody doing what you love doing, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to Brothers and Jada. Definitely shout out to Kiara LeBlanc. And I thank you all so much for your time and energy. And I'm gonna push forward, doing bigger and better things with this, and just can't thank you all enough. So outside of my adventures in photography, I've also just again the work and life balance, just doing my usual day job or what have you. Shout out to all my cool coworkers that I rock with and who rock with me in return. And definitely shout out to like my family members who I've tried to spend as much time humanly possible that I can with them. And that's basically just been me on my hiatus for the most part. And what I do want to talk about though, speaking of just things on the creative side, we've come across a very drastic standstill recently. And in case everybody doesn't know what type of standstill I'm talking about, yeah, Hollywood has gone on strike, man. The Writers Guild, and more recently, SAG, Screen Actors Guild, have all gone, on strike because these Hollywood execs are tripping, man. That's all I can say. They are royally tripping. First, it's stuff about the use of possibly, creating more AI stuff to replace actors and actresses. Sadly, some of it's already happening. I'll get a little bit further into that soon. But you also got studio execs talking outside the neck, talking about writers and actors being unrealistic with their demands and expectations. But you all are the mofos sitting up all on the money banks and all this and that or what have you, but you're not treating your talent like rightfully should. So that's why this is a thing that's happening. And I'm going to basically kind of go in on the ramifications on why things are the way they are with, the whole strike and what have you. So basically, what it's coming down to is that since we have gone to this age of technology and special effects and that type of thing, and don't get me wrong, some special effects do look cool, especially when it comes to the more recent superhero movies that have come out. um they make characters who I've grew up reading about and watching Saturday morning cartoons or whatever, making them look cool and come to life. But when it's getting to a point now where they're utilizing stuff such as AI to replace whole actors and actresses just so they don't feel like, paying certain people, I got called BS on that. When I was about to say earlier, sadly, that's already happening because for those of you all who do follow, stuff on the Hollywood side or just actors in general, Bruce Willis is unfortunately dealing with dementia at the time. I mean, it's so far down the hole with it, it's like he's barely, clinging on to just being coherent, you know what I mean? And, his family's been really close by them. And, shout out to Bruce Willis and his family, because I know it's a hard thing. And not to get too personal, but I've had a couple of people, I've lost due to the likes of dementia and things like that. And it's definitely no fun. Um, so what it is that I think before the dementia really got worse, a deal got done to where Bruce Willis had basically signed off his likeness to multiple Hollywood studios and stuff like that. So if you are truly paying attention, all these direct to video and direct to streaming movies that have Bruce Willis name and face plaster all over it, it is and it ain't him. And what I'm saying is, whether he's done a certain amount of movies before his dementia has gotten worse, or he's done it to where, unfortunately, the latter is happening, where AI is taking over, where they've legit taken, you know, mocaps and just various likenesses of him doing all these direct to stream and direct to video movies where, yeah, it looks like him and it sounds like him, but it's not actually him. And this is kind of unfortunately what the future of Hollywood could be if writers don't get their heads out their asses. And yeah, fair warning, colorful language will be used because I just got to speak on it how I got to speak on it. So you don't like it, sorry, not sorry. Just got to speak my mind about it. But anyhow, back to that. Yeah, this is what unfortunately Hollywood actors and actresses are fearing, where you're gonna have your greedy studio execs try not to pay them for the hard work that they're doing and just to get computer AI to do the job for them. to do the things they want them to do. And the sad part and bogus part about that is it's not going to be realistic because AI, yeah, you can make somebody look like somebody. You can make somebody look like Tom Cruise or Harrison Ford or Denzel Washington or something like that. You can make them sound like them, but they're not going to have the emotion that we draw from them. You're not going to get the emotion of an Angela Bassett. You're not going to get the emotion of like a Margot Robbie or somebody like that because you basically trying to replace actors and actresses who put their heart and soul into doing roles that they do. And whether they spent years in theater, years in just going to acting school, it's like it's all going down the drain because certain people in Hollywood out here just be like, hey, you don't want to do something, that's okay, we'll get somebody to replace you. It'll just look like you, might sound like you, but we know it ain't gonna be you. And we ain't gotta worry about paying now another dollar of what you're truly worth. And that's sad. And what's disheartening to me is like I'm seeing an outpour, a lot of actors and actresses just speak their mind about this. I mean, shout out to Fran Drescher, who we've known for many years as the nanny, and has done other pieces of work also. She's the current SAG director, and she went hard on these Hollywood execs, and rightfully should. Also, shout out to Ron Perlman, Clay Morrow, Hellboy himself. He went in hella hard on a Twitter video they did, just expressing the disdain and the frustration of dealing with this strike because you got people like Bob Iger, people like Jason Blum, people like David Zasloff talking outside their neck, talking about we're gonna hold out till it gets so bad, people gonna start losing their homes, start losing their livelihood, this and that. This is both for both writers and actors. So you're basically telling me that people who you've gotten to create movies that I've grew up with for over time to current, pieces of work that we have right now, you're gonna make them suffer because you feel some kind of way of them being unreasonable. But just some time ago, it's been reported like David Zaslav got paid 250 million off this WB Discovery merger, and this is the same David Zaslav who decided to shelve Batgirl, the same David Zaslav who wanted to quote air quotes save Ezra Miller to try to promote this Flash movie, which ended up being one of the biggest bombs in the history of Warner Brothers films, and because of that, supposedly they're $50 billion down the hole, and I think that's part of the reason why. Well, it is part of the reason why this strike is happening because they're trying to save every penny they can to do certain other projects they want to do, but they don't want to pay off the talent who is making these projects happening. So it's just really messed up. Another reason why I'm rocking mainly with the actors and the writers is because at one point in time I wanted to get into this, and partially I still kind of do, even though I'm 45 right now, and it's never too late to do something that you want to love to do. At the same time, just hearing and seeing what's going on, it's like it's not discouraging me. It's not making me way on the sidelines. It just makes me approach the passion of wanting to act more strategically, shall I say. Because I'm seeing how things are going on. I'm seeing how people are treated, and it's just not cool. It's obviously not cool. And I also got some friends out there who are actually in SAG. I got friends out here who are doing what they, you know, are loving to do, whether it's, in film, in television. And I give shout outs to people like Jay Washington. I mentioned Jay Washington a lot because, he is a good friend. And when we chop it up and we talk, it's like, he gives mad knowledge and just mad encouragement for me to, go ahead and if you want to really do this, go ahead and do it, man. And I truly appreciate him on his friendship. I truly appreciate what he does in his craft, whether it's been on film, whether it's been on television, and whether he's doing stuff on stand-up comedy, whether I get a chance to watch it on social media or whatever like that, or you know, one day, hopefully soon, I can go ahead and give him a shout out, see him do his thing live in LA. I mean, I already seen him when he's been in Chicago a time or two. Another shout out to Andre Lavelle, who is also a good friend, who's also actor and stand-up comedian. He, has been quite knowledgeable on how the way the industry works and things like that, and just giving tidbits or what have you. And I appreciate him and a few others that I'm sorry I'm blanking on right now, but those two brothers come to mind because they're both from the hometown, and I truly appreciate what they do and what they've accomplished, in front of and behind the camera. So I rock with you fellows. I rock with any other actor, actresses who are doing their damn thing. And I really hope you all get your just due and something gets resolved, because just to hear somebody like a Bob Iger talking about they're being unrealistic, and that's the crazy part, by the way, because Bob Iger, everybody was all gun ho and just hyped for him to get back into Disney Studios, because I guess he sat out for a little while, and the way certain things are getting ran, they were hyped to glad to see him come back, but for him to come back and to just, turn this about face, it's crazy. And it's like, what the hell? So it's maddening. And like for certain people who have projects coming up, like for example, for people who watch Power Book 4 Force season 2 of that is going to be dropping in less than 2 months. And sadly, Joe Sikora and none of the other talent who's filmed in Chicago for quite some time, they can't promote it like they want to. The upcoming Blue Beetle movie, which comes out probably in a few weeks. Zolo Maraduenas, aka Miguel Perez from Cobra Kai, he made a heartfelt video about how he can't promote it. So if people want to see him rock, I mean, hey, by all means, he's saying go ahead, word of mouth. Go ahead, watch as many times as you possibly can, or whatever, because right now, due to the strike, due to them being on this certain side of time right now, he can't budge on, promoting something that he was probably very passionate about and so hyped for. So it's like, man, the basic nutshell that I could just put into this as far as this whole strike thing goes is like, hey, if you do what you love doing, whether it's acting, writing, directing, hell, stuff outside of that, like photography or creative writing, poetry, etc., stand-up comedy, stand, stick to your guns, stand your ground. Let it be known that, hey, you ain't gonna stand for certain things, you ain't gonna want to do certain things, etc. Because I mean, yeah, they could throw certain type of dollar signs to you left and right to either keep you quiet or quote unquote keep you happy. But even some of the raw deals that actors reveal they've gotten over time is they filmed stuff that it's been sitting on shelves forever. You heard, I just mentioned Becker earlier. That got done, and Michael Keaton was in there, Brendan Fraser, etc. That's gonna be on the shelf indefinitely. Ain't no telling when it'll ever come out in time or in life. And you hear about actors and actresses filming TV shows and movies. Matter of fact, there was a Disney Plus movie that came out sometime called Crater, and it starred, I believe the young actress name is McKenna Grace, who played Egon's granddaughter from Ghostbusters Afterlife, and also starred Kid Cudi. That got pulled from Disney Plus like for no less than like maybe a week or two when it was released. And it was like a sci-fi family adventure movie. Then you also have like this plethora of things. Believe Yvette Nicole Brown is the actress name. She's been on Parks and Recs. Um, Great comedic actress, by the way. She revealed about a TV series that she did called Big Shots, and she did that for 2 seasons. That's supposed to be on. I can't remember the platform she said it was on, but she did 2 seasons of that show. But due to this and due to what has happened, that's been pulled off, and it'll probably never see the light of day. For those who watch popular stuff like The Game, the TV series sitcom The Game, that's been rebooted twice, and now it's been pulled off from Paramount Plus's platform, and that's never see the light of day again. So again, if you're passionate about doing something that you love doing, go ahead, do it. Stick to your guns, stand your ground, and let it be known that what you want out here. Because as long as you have your Bob Igers, your Jason Blums, and David Zaslavs out here, it's gonna be a tough uphill battle to, especially if you want like true actual representation of the work you want done. Because of course, myself and many others, including Jay Washington, Andre Lavelle, and others, we've talked about, the representation of black people out here in Hollywood. We've talked about the representation of, it seems like every time when it comes to the mainstream, we always gotta be slaves. We always gotta be pimps. The women always gotta be hoes. They always gotta be adulteresses. And that's like the ongoing theme when it comes to us on the mainstream side. And the rarities that we get out of that would be something like a Black Panther, rest in power Chadwick Boseman continually. And it's just certain other projects of that nature. So it's like outside of that, that's all we're really going to be seeing. Sadly, due to certain aspects, such as the ratchet trap culture or what have you, that's unfortunately going to still be an ongoing thing. And now, due to the strike and such, you got, God forbid, but we're going to be dealing with a whole plethora of reality TV shows. We got YouTubers out here getting their head all big, thinking they about to cash in big time because now, you know, actors and actresses got a strike and nobody's gonna be able to watch certain things they're gonna want to watch. So they think they're gonna go hard with this content creative stuff, which can hit or miss depending on who it is. So it's like, gotta buckle up, gotta buckle up hard. And one thing that was mentioned, courtesy of Mark Ruffalo, aka current MCU Incredible Hulk, it's gonna get to a point now where hey, actors might have to do the damn thing and start doing stuff more independently, which requires kept. I'm for it because it's like, hey, you truly want your vision to shine, do it on your own terms, do it on your own way. I know distribution going to be kind of a uphill battle in itself, but as long as you got that better feeling of doing something you truly love doing without having XYZ execs telling you, oh no, you can't do this, or no, you can't say that, or no, this ain't gonna work, or whatever, it's not gonna sell, that type of jazz. And hey, I mean, hey, people are already gravitating to Tubi, so if we can come up with a platform almost similar to that, but with more original content, I'm for it. But anyhow, that's mainly what I want to express in regards to the overall thing of the strike or what have you. Now, to kind of gravitate more towards a little more positive stuff, I basically been checking out a handful of things during my hiatus as well, outside doing my photography ish. I've been doing stuff like, just watch a, excuse me, watch and catch up on a few things, few movies, and I'm not going to review every single movie that I've watched, but I'll just tell you a few things what I've liked, what I've dug. One of the main things that stick out, or two big things stick out on the action side, were John Wick 4 and Extraction 2. And these movies to me kind of made me recapture my love for action films because of things they've done. Yeah, some of the things they've done are crazy, insane, and wild. But between the seeing what Keanu Reeves has done with his John Wick character, and Chris Hemsworth further, going up with this character of Tyler Rake with the Extraction series, I've basically, recaptured my love for the action movie more than ever. I mean, still gonna like my superhero stuff here and there, but I have a much better appreciation for action heroes now than what I once did before growing up. And that's what I think is the beauty of that. Another movie that I found interesting and cool was Evil Dead Rise. Now I know when this came out, people had mixed feelings about Evil Dead Rise. Me personally, I enjoyed it. There were some beats. It's one of those horror movies where it was like it wasn't beat for beat like every other Evil Dead movie. There were some nods here and there, but it wasn't like overly excessive nods. So I give it that much. But the way this movie played out, I like the fact that it's a different setting. B, they kind of changed it up by making it primarily a woman cast. And I know some people were talking about, oh, it's being woke because it's predominantly women, this and that, which is a bunch of BS. Because it's like, hey, if you got the talent, if you got the story to tell, make it happen. And to me, it worked. And I feel like that if this is going to lead to something that involves Evil Dead multiverse of sorts, where you can tell the Evil Dead story through, different people, what have you. So be it. Let's do it. Everything doesn't have to revolve around Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell used to go to the series. He's the man when it comes to Evil Dead, but everything ain't got to revolve around him. So hey, if we can get an Evil Dead that stars predominant Latino cast, or hey, if we can get almost an all black version of an Evil Dead movie, I'm here for it. If we can get this Evil Dead multiverse cracking once this strike stuff subsides, let's make it go. Let's make it go. Speaking of black people in horror, another gem that I dug was The Blackening. And speaking of people that I rock with and I support, shout out to the homie Patrick Rowan. I know this man from high school. He's a couple years ahead of me, but cool dude, funny dude. And to see him be a part of, you know, in my opinion, a runaway hit, even though even though the numbers say differently on the Hollywood standard side, to me it was hit because it was a lot of good word of mouth, a lot of positive word of mouth, and I truly enjoyed it for what it was because it's basically what if you have a gang of black folks all involved in a horror movie, what they would actually say and do, and that's the cool part about it is, and then I dig it based off the juncture of we didn't play up to certain stereotypes. It's like we did, but not to where it was like it's predictable. Like, okay, he gonna be this type of person, she gonna be this type of person, so I know it's gonna play out. No, that's the beauty of it. Because in past time, when it comes to black people in horror movies, we're always the aspiring hip hop producer, we the hood dude from around the way that wants to tag along and cause trouble, um, or if you're a black nerd who's secretly gay, or you just are a loser or whatever like that, and you like the first sacrificial lamb to go, or if you're a black woman, in these kind of horror movies, you're either trying to chase after the main dude who's already got a girl, that type of thing. So I liked how refreshing the blackening was, and it was quite hilarious too, which I love more than anything. So shout out to them on that. Definitely, I would highly recommend it. I know it's currently on Prime Cinema right now, so you should be able to rent it. So I say by all means check that out. What else do we have going on? Another one, Sisu. Now, Sisu is an independent action drama from the producers of John Wick. Um, I'd say the dialogue is limited. I wasn't expecting no deep story, but brutal action sequences that happen here and there throughout, a story that takes place in 1940s, I want to say. So during like the World War II era, and that was like a nice little kick-ass moment here and there. Especially, I don't know what it is between John Wick, Sisu, but the fact that you have actors, older actors, I should say, doing action stuff is pretty awesome to me, and it gives more better gravitas to action movies and more sense of realism because not every actor is meant to be all swole and super, tough and strong, looking like Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and such. So I give props on that one for that nature. What else did I peep out recently? Trying to think. But oh yes, definitely can't forget about this one. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Shout out to Stephen Caple Jr., um, first black director to do a Transformers movie, a live action Transformers movie, I should say. And to me, Rise of the Beasts was awesome to the extent of it piggybacks off the success of Bumblebee, and especially the same type of energy. I like how Optimus Prime was portrayed. Shout out to Peter Cullen. Shout out to Ron Perlman one more time for playing Optimus Primal. Michelle Yeoh for Air Razor. Shout out to Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback for their performances as human characters. That was one of the things I dug about is that the human characters were actually reliable. They weren't all annoying and trying to be all extra like in the Bayformer movies. So the human characters were actually useful, which was great. Surprising shout out though, and I say surprising shout out in regards to Pete Davidson as Mirage. And I'm not the biggest Pete Davidson fan like that, but he did a great job for voicing the character Mirage. He made the character fun loving, likable, memorable. Almost reminds me of Hot Rod, voiced by Judd Nelson in the '86 animated movie. That's what Mirage reminded me of. But nonetheless, if you dug Bumblebee, you'll truly dig Rise of the Beast. Whenever you get a chance, check it out. If it's still in theaters, if not, by all means, uh, go ahead and give it a rent on, whether it's on Prime Cinema, whether it's on Apple Plus, whatever you can find it at. But yeah, basically, man, those are a few of the movies I checked out and I dug thus far. I still got to check out Mission Impossible. Um, I'm on the fence on checking out the last Indiana Jones movie. Harrison Ford, my dude, but I think I could wait in regards to that one. It's a couple other things that I think are coming out that I can't necessarily think of right now, but nonetheless, I'm gonna check out some more things. I'm gonna try to keep it a little more consistent. One last thing before I ride up out of here, though. Shout out to my peeps of the Fly Nerd Group. We recently had a discussion on stuff of the writer strike, stuff in regards to the Deadpool 3 leaks, things of that nature. So by all means, check out Fly Nerd Group. Please subscribe to them through YouTube, Fly Nerd Prime Time. That's the channel to check out. So shout out to my bros, Corey Green, Cosmo Galactus, and Coach E Soulstar, as well as every other person that is involved in Fly Nerd Group, because we all up in this together in the name of our love for film, television, music, etc., art. So, hey man, show us some love, give us a shout out, just check us out. But in the meantime, I was going to keep this one short and sweet. And I thank you for all who listen, who all are checking me out. And I will hopefully be back here in another couple of weeks to give some more info in 411. So enjoy your Tuesday afternoon, your Taco Tuesday. I know I will. And I will talk to you all later. Two finger salute.